Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Assistant Professor Dr. Halil İbrahim Balkul from Sakarya University. I am a member of Editorial Board of Turkish Journal of Applied Social Work. Today, first of all, I will give you some information about our journal. Turkish Journal of Applied Social Work. Turkish Journal of Applied Social Work is an international refereed journal. The journal started its publication life in 2018. The present scientific journal is published in December and June with 2 issues per year. The working languages of the journal are English and German. Turkish Journal of Applied Social Work is meeting the academic community with the first issue in December 2018, and the processes required to be screened in many indexes have already started. Our journal, which is the first academic social work journal in Turkey operating in foreign languages, English and German, is planning to have a new lease on social work and expects the support of the authors. Any publications which can contribute to the development of social work academic field and the related areas are welcome to our journal. Now I will give you some information about the aim of our journal. Turkish Journal of Applied Social Work started its publication life in 2018. This journal has embarked on the open access policy with the idea that scientific information produced by academics, professionals, and others can be accessed by anyone, both locally and internationally, without any limitations. Now the turn is for the scope of our journal. Any publications which can contribute to the development of the social work academic field and the related areas are welcome to our journal. Academic studies which were carried out by the academicians from social work field, social workers, social work undergraduate and graduate students, professionals from different professions working in the field of social work, and other academic units with social work on mind are the scope of this journal. Evaluation of supervision needs of social workers working in different professional fields. The first article was prepared by Taner Artan, Aydın Olcay Özkan, and Nur Açıkgöz. The abstract. The aim of this research is to assess the supervision needs of social workers. Within the scope of the research, 10 different areas where social workers work: medical social work, forensic social work in local governments, disability and social work, old age and social work, addiction and social work with families, women and social work, children and social work centers were determined. The interviews were conducted with a total of 20 social workers. There are 2 people in each field indicated above, one experienced and one relatively inexperienced, by using a semi-structured interview technique. Open-ended interview questions were addressed to participants and asked to share their thoughts about supervision, their experience in the areas of occupational competence and ethical dilemmas, case management process, and evaluations of an anxiety dimension, and their sharings were assessed in accordance with the supervision needs of social workers. In the light of the obtained data, it was observed that social workers need supervision support in the fields such as perception of professional competence, problems occurring in case management, difficulty in determining appropriate method of intervention, feeling and anxiety, producing solutions for ethical dilemmas, and the need of someone whose advice they can ask regularly, especially in the period when they first entered the profession. The importance of this study lies on the fact that it reveals the supervision need of the professionals who work as social workers in Turkey. Keywords: social work, social worker, social work supervision, and supervision. Introduction. When human factor is in question, the need for using the most appropriate helping skills and taking professional decisions arises for each case, and This situation leads to a very diverse and complex structure. In such a case, the need for support in the form of advice, ideas or suggestions, both practically and theoretically, arises and the need for a supervision mechanism is created. Sandu and Nguru, 2013. Supervision is defined as a process in which an experienced person, in this case supervisor, with experience prepares a subordinate for the profession under her supervision and supporting subordinate for the enrichment of their practical experiences. Shortly, training under supervision. Bradley and Boyd, 1989. Despite not being exclusive to social work, supervision is very important in terms of providing professional devotion and confidence in social workers, regular and informal consultation on complex cases and problems. Kadushin and Harkness, 2002. Kimberly, 2000, cited in Turner, 2005. As a matter of fact, when the traditional and professional history of the social work is considered, it can be clearly seen that the supervision is a priority and integral part of the profession. It is an important component of social work practice. Hawkes, 2010, Munson, 2002, Hardcastle, 1992. Social work supervision can be defined as an interactive process which is learned through practice. It includes basic functions such as emotional support, mediation, and professional development. It also includes the case management. Mark, Mackay-Dimney, and Oshwat, 2014. Social work supervision is provided under the supervision of a supervisor who has necessary professional experience and competence. It aims to ensure that social work is delivered efficiently and within the framework of professionalism. It is carried out with the framework of educational, supportive, and executive functions based on different theories, models, and perspectives. Social work supervision is away from discriminatory practices. It aims to ensure continuous learning and performance improving. DSD and SACSSP, 2012. Social work supervision aims to increase the life quality of individuals and the efficiency of the services they provide. It is considered as a part of more comprehensive specialties in the social work system. Social work supervision aims to gradually develop the professional and personal development of the social worker via supervising and monitoring activities. Sandu and Unguru, 2013. Supervision is a professional process coordinated by the social work supervisor, which also contributes to the social workers in finding the emotional support. Supervisor is an institution personnel responsible of directing and coordinating the professionals under his supervision, contributing to their professional development and evaluating the supervision process. While fulfilling this responsibility, he performs some administrative, educational, and supportive functions in the context of positive relations with the subordinates under the supervision. The ultimate goal of the supervisor is contributing to the best possible service, both qualitatively and quantitatively, in accordance with the procedure related to how the service politics and service should be conducted, cited by Kadushin and Harkness, 2002, Munson, 1993, cited in Turner, 2005. The social work supervision is ideally provided by the supervisor in the institution where the social work is employed, but if this is not possible, the supervision need of the social worker is expected to be met by the supervisors out of office appointed by the institution where the social worker is employed. A change in the supervision context may result in differentiation of the supervision process, cited by Bedua, 2010, Bradley and Hoyer, 2009. Supervision can be presented in two different contexts, internal and external. Internal supervision refers to the supervision process in which the social worker gives individual and group supervision in the institution where he or she currently works. Differently from the internal supervision, in the external supervision, the supervisors outside of the institution are assigned to organize the supervision process. External supervision can be carried out individually or as a group, as in the internal supervision. As external supervision is carried out by a supervisor outside of the institution, this process is considerably objective and it can reveal different aspects as well. However, studies conducted indicated that internal supervision is the most common form of social work supervision, cited by Liz 2012. Supervision can also be provided individually or in group. In the individual supervisor, supervision process is conducted on one-to-one basis between the supervisor and supervisee. In this process, the supervisor providing the supervision is at a higher level than supervisee. Supervisor can be an institution manager, an experienced and senior professional than the supervisee, cited by Hawkins and Schoet 2006. The group supervision, unlike the individual supervision, includes peer or facilitator group supervision, cited by Burnett and Goodyear 2014, Barrett Herman 1994, Armstrong, Gordon, and Hobbs 1991. The concept of peer supervision refers to the supervision process carried out by social workers working in the same institution and forming a group, cited by DSD and SACSSP 2012, Armstrong, Gordon, and Hobbs 1991. In the facilitator group supervision, there is a facilitator individual playing the role of group facilitator, unlike the peer supervision, and he or she is at a higher level compared to other members of the group, cited by Proctor 2000. When the literature is reviewed, the studies reveal that the group supervision is more functional than individual supervision. Group supervision has many advantages which prove that it is more functional compared to individual supervision. Some of these advantages are as follows: the possibility to provide supervision support to more than one person in the group and thus the efficient use of time, the possibility to evaluate the dissatisfaction from the works under the light of many different views, the possibility to have freedom to discuss ideas, a more positive progress of professional development through different feedbacks from other group members, greater encouragement of creativity in the workplace, and increased collective strength of the team spirit, etc. Cited by Bernard and Goodyear 2014, Field 2009, Hare and O'Donnell 2009, Hawkins and Schoet 2006, Bogo and McKnight 2006, Salmon, Savage, Ruman and McGillivray 2005, Christensen and Klein 2001, Gilligan Barr 1999, Bradley and Boyd 1989. However, there are some disadvantages of group therapy which should not be forgotten, such as the limited time allocated to speak about personal problems and situations, the difficulty to establish trust among the members of the group, the extra time and effort required to preparation and organization integrity, the required sensitivity for different learning levels of the group members, and the difficulties in giving the feedback related to supervision process, cited by Bernard and Goodyear 2014, Manson 2002, Kadushin and Harkness 2002, Ellis 2001. Social work supervision is considered within the context of three functions in the literature: educational or clinical, executive, and supportive. The educational or clinical function of the social work supervision focuses on increasing the self-confidence and competence of social workers. Educational or clinical supervision contributes to the social workers on how to apply the social work values and ethical rules while working in cases. At the same time, it contributes to a better understanding of how to practice knowledge, skills, and attitudes develop. This aspect of supervision allows for the assessment of learning and training needs of social workers, cited by SWAAB 2017. Educational or clinical supervision provides the supervision opportunity to social workers to understand the social work philosophy better, to have professional awareness, and to develop their professional knowledge and skills by focusing on the professional concerns. Generally, the educational supervision includes the guidance and counseling activities presented to the supervisee social workers about the case evaluation, treatment and intervention, identification and resolution of ethical issues, evaluation and termination of services, cited by NASW and ASWB 2013. Executive supervision refers to a process which includes specific objectives such as workload management, supervising and evaluating the work of supervisee, and ensuring that service standards are met, cited by SWAAB 2017. Executive supervision, an area related to the current policies and public accountability in an institution and organization, contributes to the functional structure of the institution and organization by transforming the determined objectives into the tasks to be completed by the social workers. In the process of executive supervision, the main responsibility of the supervisor in the executive position is to ensure that the necessary work is carried out, cited by Kadushin and Harkness 2002. This process involves the implementation of administrative methods to ensure that social workers are able to provide effective service to the client, cited by NASW and ASWB 2013. In general, the executive supervision is an executive function including various criteria such as the determination of supervisee service, objectives and priorities, classification of supervisee's roles, the planning of the necessary work and distribution of the tasks, the evaluation and review of the works, and providing the accountability related to be taken responsibilities. Supportive supervision aims to decrease the stress factor affecting the job performance of the supervisee and thus increase his or her job performance, and the supervisor is responsible for improving the work environment and increasing the motivation of social workers, cited by Kadushin and Harkness 2002. Supportive supervision, which aims to improve the professional satisfaction and quality of service of the social worker, is also very important in terms of the increased productivity at the workplace, cited by DSD and SACSSP 2012. Considering the workload of the social workers and negative feelings they have experienced with the cases, problems such as burnout feeling and decrease in service delivery quality can be overcome with the supportive supervision. As can be seen, the social work supervision is an interactive process which is comprehensive in the context of educational, executive, and supportive functions, which can be carried out individually or as a group. Social work supervision aims to increase the service delivery quality and professional satisfaction by means of individual and professional development of social worker. Social work supervision can be carried out by a staff from inside or outside of the institution. It is a planned and effective process which provides regular counseling opportunity to the social worker about individual or professional problems. Especially when the working conditions and problems of the social workers are taken into consideration in Turkey, the importance of the social work supervision comes to the light. Materials and method. The supervision need of the social workers has been investigated in this study. Within the scope of the research, 10 different areas where social workers work: medical social work, forensic social work in local governments, disability and social work, old age and social work, addiction and social work with families, women and social work, children and social work, and social work centers, which means generalistic social work practice. They all have been determined, and interviews were conducted with 2 social workers from each field, being 2 people of each area, 1 experienced and 1 relatively inexperienced, and in total of 20 participants were interviewed. Interviews were conducted in face-to-face interviews and telephone interviews. 8 of the participants were female, 12 of them were male. The ages of the participants varied between 22 and 50. The median age was 32 years old. 5 of the participants are married and 15 of them are single. 4 of the participants were graduated from graduate schools, while 16 of the participants were graduated from undergraduate schools. 40% of the participants have a duty term between 1 to 10 years. 25 of them have a duty term less than 1 year. 20% of them have a duty term between 11 to 20 years, and 15% of them have a duty term more than 21 years. 75% of the social workers participating in the survey live in Istanbul, while the rest of them live in Bursa, Hatay, Izmir, Manisa, and Yalova. 11 of the participants were graduated from Hacettepe University, and 9 of them were graduated from Istanbul University. One of the participants defined his or her economic status as very low, 4 of them defined their economic status as low, and 15 of them defined their economic status as middle. Interviews were conducted with semi-structured interview technique with pre-prepared, open-ended questions for the study. The interviews were conducted during February, March, April in 2018, and after the data were collected, the data analyzed, and the data took its final form. Qualitative data analysis. General evaluations about the supervision need. When the definitions related to supervision concept made by the participants are examined, it is seen that the concept is defined as the counseling provided by the more experienced staff, the guidance provided by more experienced and more informed staff to the relatively less experienced staff, the support given to social workers in the situations such as burnout, psychological depression, which may burn the member of the profession out. A participant 10, 24 years old, defined supervision as the supervision of an experienced social workers to the supervisee about how to overcome the problems supervisee faces. The supervisor helped the supervisee to gain knowledge and experience as well as improve herself or himself. Social workers need supervision when they feel inadequate in some aspects or issues, or when they feel burnout after a certain duty time. 13 of the participants, equal to 65%, stated that they had never been involved in any supervision process. 7 of the participants, equal to 35%, stated that they had participated in the supervision process, but members of different occupational groups provided this support. One participant 17, who is 41 years old, stated that he or she took supervision support from a member of different occupational group. I was involved in the supervision process while I was working in kindergarten. I got support from the same supervisor when I was transferred to the girls' dormitory during 2004 to 2005, she said. Back then, I was working in an orphanage for girls. I owe my professional development to that supervision. My supervisor was a psychologist, and he or she gave me support in terms of psychoanalysis. The support provided by the supervisor is important in terms of bringing you to a certain level and the psychological support he or she provides. As far as I know, there are 2 or 3 institutions providing this service in Turkey. While 16 of the participants, equal to 80%, indicated that they did not receive in-service training related to supervision before, 4 of the participants, equal to 20%, said they received in-service training related to supervision. Most of the participants stated that they had received informal in-service training in the first years of their careers from the other members of the profession working in the same institution. One participant, interviewee 5, who is 38 years old, explained this situation as follows. Each institution has various in-service trainings under different titles according to its own structure. But I received in-service training related to the field experience from my colleagues during my service, and it was informal. All participants indicated that they needed supervision from the first day they started to work. They also emphasized the importance of ensuring that this support is provided not only to the social work profession, but also to all professional groups working with people. One participant, interviewee 7, who is 50 years old, expressed his or her ideas as follows. As each case is very specific in itself, you need a different eye or opinion for every field. In other words, you may need supervision for each case. Another interviewee 10, who is 24 years old, expressed his supervision need as follows. Yes, sometimes I needed supervision because I am new or inexperienced, and sometimes I feel inadequate in some issues. Dealing with people constantly can be wearing, and people may need support. Another participant, interviewee 15, who is 32 years old, highlighted the significance of supervision as follows. I needed supervision from beginning to end, and I still need supervision. Supervision does not mean you are good or bad, but I think everyone needs to get education from someone better than himself or herself. I would like to receive supervision from someone better than me. I'm in need of that. All participants think that social workers need supervision. For example, a participant, interviewee 6, who is 22 years old, said that social work is a profession that requires a discipline to work with many different disciplines, but needs to work with a more disadvantaged audience. I think it is necessary to have a supervision in order to avoid misbehaving in situations such as having a professional to get an idea in situations where the professions are inexperienced and not knowing what to do. Experiencing professional deformation during experienced or inexperienced periods, difficulty in empathy. I think that supervision is a must not only for social work, but also for all occupations dealing with people. Professional competence and ethical dilemmas. While 19 of the participants, equal to 95%, indicated that they didn't find themselves professionally adequate when they first started the profession, only one of them stated that he or she found himself or herself professionally adequate when he or she first started the profession, but realized in time that he or she was inadequate. One participant, interviewee 7, who is 50 years old, explained his or her views on the professional competence as follows. I never find myself adequate. Each case is unique, and you have no knowledge about the case before you. If you act like you do not know, you can grab the case and provide necessary intervention. If you act like you know everything and approach the case with such an approach, you lose the case. That's tough. If you do not know, you can grab the case and provide necessary intervention. If you act like you know everything and approach the case with such an approach, you lose the case. That is tough. Another participant, interviewee 10, who is 24 years old, expressed his or her concerns about the professional competence as follows. Like other professionals, I didn't find myself professionally adequate when I first started my job, as the training I had received in the undergraduate level was general training. No field-specific education was given. For this reason, I had a few shortcomings in various subjects at the beginning. One of the participants, interviewee 5, who is 38 years old, expressed his or her ideas related to the provision of supervision as follows. If the administration board required me to supervise a newcomer for 3 months and to be responsible from him or her, and to introduce the field to him, and paid me 10% difference in the wage, it will be fair. A participant, interviewee 4, who is 22 years old, expresses his or her concerns about professional incompetency feeling and highlights the importance of professional experience as follows. It requires long years of work for me to find myself professionally competent. I think that no member of profession should find herself or himself professionally competent. Knowledge and experience are always needed. Another participant, interviewee 11, who is 45 years old, states that I want to use up-to-date information and act professionally in this manner. I frequently review international resources and studies, and I frequently question and study about a possibly missed criteria or situation as you work with people. You can encounter with a case which has nothing to do with all your information, and you may be quite surprised. In such situations, I will go to the consultation with my colleagues and experienced coaches. Thus, the participant stated that he or she tries to maintain the supervision in a non-systematic way with his or her own means. The evaluations of participants related to the feeling of inadequacy are as follows. One of the participants, interviewee 18, who is 25 years old, stated that the arguments in our hand may not always be enough. I take my colleagues' opinions. Our branch manager is also our colleague. I take his or her opinion. If I cannot solve the problem, I go to the provincial vice principal and ask his or her opinion. Another participant, interviewee 20, who is 25 years old, stated that I received support from my colleagues who are more experienced than me in the field. I called institutions I could contact, and I got information from members of different professions on how to conduct collaborative work. The dominant view of the participants about the feeling of inadequacy is revealed to be getting help from the members of profession they view as competent or getting help from authorized organizations or institutions. 13 of the participants, equal to 65%, have someone to whom they can regularly consult for any problems they encounter. On the contrary, 7 of the participants, equal to 35%, stated that they are deprived of this opportunity. The dominant view of the participants is revealed to be getting supervision from informal or non-systematic ways. One of the participants expressed her or his opinions about the supervision opportunity as follows. There is no one we can regularly consult, of course. As I said before, we have a group of friends, our colleagues. When we periodically come together, there are points on which we discuss within the group by expressing what we have done and what are the consequences and asking for opinions from the members of the group. Another participant, interviewee 5, who is 38 years old, expressed his or her opinions as follows. There was no one to consult where I worked. I called the General Directorate and discussed the social workers working in this field. I expressed my case, my decisions, and I asked about their opinions as to the appropriateness of my decisions. 13 of the participants, equal to 65%, stated that they had experienced at least one ethical dilemma in their invention to cases. 7 of the participants, equal to 35%, stated that they had never experienced ethical dilemmas before. One of the participants, interviewee 11, who is 45 years old, described one of her or his interventions, which was due to his or her professional inexperience. I dismissed my first case coming from the court. I dismissed her or him from my hospital office as he or she threatened me. Then I regret doing so. If I knew when I know now, I would consult to my lecturers about the situation. Another interviewee 10, who is 24 years old, expressed the importance of professional counseling at decision stage as follows. In a guardianship case, the mother said that her spouse would not divorce her if she didn't give custody to him, and she said she was afraid of her spouse would harm her. Although she wanted the custody, she required us to write the opposite in the report, and she demanded that what she had said to be confidential. I told her that I had to write what she said during the interview to report, and if I hadn't written these, the correct decision wouldn't be taken. I asked the opinion of my colleagues on this situation. I asked the opinion of the judge. After taking necessary precautions, I wrote what she had said in the report, and I decided that parental rights should be given to mother. 11 of the participants, equal to 55%, stated that if they experience ethical dilemmas in their cases, they will prefer to refer the case. Only 2 of the participants, equal to 18%, stating that they will prefer to refer the case, also stated that they may feel the need to consult to others. One participant, interviewee 8, who is 23 years old, explained that his or her experiences during the case process as follows. I prefer to refer to the case. I feel the need to consult to someone. If I cannot find a solution, I refer the case. Another participant, interviewee 6, who is 22 years old, expressed a situation in which he or she faced ethical dilemma and felt the need to refer as follows. As I work in private sector and I am the only social worker in the institution, I cannot refer the cases. For that reason, I primarily consult to the physicians and healthcare personnel in the institution. Then I consult the social worker colleagues. If I cannot find a solution, I contact to my lecturers in the university from which I graduated. I frequently ask for help from the Elderly Services Department of the Family and Social Policy Provincial Directorate in the province I live in, and I always receive the necessary support from all the social workers and the branch manager. Personal experiences about the case process. 15 of the participants, equal to 75%, stated that they had problems in finding the appropriate intervention method. 6 of the 15 participants, equal to 40%, who had problems finding the appropriate intervention method, indicated that they needed the support of others in this process. One participant, interviewee 15, who is 32 years old, explained that the process of finding the appropriate intervention method as follows. There were situations for which we did not know what to do, but ultimately we find a solution in some way. We need to do this for our job. In these processes, I get support from experienced colleagues from unofficial ways. 5 of the participants, equal to 25%, stated that they had problems in finding the appropriate intervention method. One participant, interviewee 12, who is 26 years old, expressed his or her ideas on the subject as follows. In general, intervention idea arises in the first or second interview. If the person accepts this intervention, there is no problem. I usually haven't experienced any problems. Another participant, interviewee 7, who is 50 years old, expressed her or his ideas as follows. I evaluate each case as special in itself, and thus I think that I should consider appropriate intervention method separately for each case. Thus, I experience less problems by doing so. 16 of the participants, 80%, stated that they had concerns about failing in the cases they encountered when they first started their jobs. However, 4 of participants, 20%, stated that they did not have such a concern. For example, a participant, interviewee 8, who is 23 years old, said, "Yes, I had concerns. I shared my concerns while a colleague of mine and learned that he or she also had such concerns. Learning this relieved me, and I was not alone. I got support from my institution's manager, not a social worker, on the points I had difficulties in." In this way, he or she explained how he or she overcame the situation. Another participant, interviewee 13, who is 25 years old, expressed how he or she overcame the concerns by getting help from the colleagues as follows. "I experienced failure concern in many cases. I received support from my more competent colleagues in the field or from a competent professional in a different profession group because I found myself lacking knowledge and inadequate." Of the 16 participants who stated that they had experienced concerns, 14 of them, equal to 87.5%, stated that they got support from others for overcoming the concerns and they needed that support. One of the participants, interviewee 20, who is 25 years old, expressed the effectiveness of the support he or she received to overcome the concerns he or she experienced when she or she intervened in the cases as follows. "Of course, I have experienced such concerns. The field is so large, and the practitioners should always keep themselves up to date. At the institution, we receive weekly supervision from a psychiatric on the addiction field. Here we have the opportunity to consult, but of course there are situations in which this is not enough." 15 of the participants, 75%, stated that they didn't experience client resistance in any of their cases. The rest of the participants stated that they experienced client resistance, but they didn't share anything related to the need of supervision about breaking that resistance. One participant, interviewee 1, who is 36 years old, expressed his or her experiences about the client resistance as follows. "Yes, it happened. It was important for us to make the client feel that the intervention we tried to make was for his or her own good, as a member of the profession and a representative of the institution. In solving the problem, holding the client as responsible and creating awareness with our guidance was an appropriate method." 5 of the participants, equal to 25%, stated that they did not encounter the client resistance while working with any case. One participant, interviewee 7, who is 50 years old, expressed the views on this issue are as follows. "While we were receiving the therapy education, our lecturer used to say that there is no resistant case or client. There is unskilled interviewee or social worker. So, the concept of resistance is an open concept." As for the resistance developed by the members of the profession, 6 of the participants, equal to 30%, stated that they didn't develop any resistance for the client in any of their cases. One participant, interviewee 19, who is 94 years old, said, "Resistance, of course, developed. But we have to do our job. We have to work on our own resistance." 14 of the participants, equal to 70%, stated that they did not develop resistance to the client while working with any case. One participant, interviewee 2, who is 25 years old, expressed his or her professional intervention approach as follows. "The choices belong to people. Furthermore, people cannot choose some things, and I cannot develop resistance for serving anybody due to these things: race, religion, language, sexual orientation, etc. Maybe that is what makes me different from other people on the streets, such as grocer, headman, and imam. Because there are already enough people to label others. I cannot exhibit a different approach to anyone at the point of providing services for my occupation. Another participant, interviewee 11, who is 45 years old, highlighted the importance of supervision on this issue as follows. I didn't have any case in which I developed resistance. I didn't develop resistance against the phenomena cases and families, as I have always felt the supervision support and I have always had such an opportunity. Discussion and conclusion. When the general evaluations of the participants about the supervision process are examined by considering that their expressions are mostly similar on the subject, it is revealed that some of the participants perceive supervision as a short-term intervention, as the supervision doesn't exist systematically for the social work profession. The majority of the participants indicated that they had not previously participated in a professional supervision process. The participants who stated that they participated in the supervision process noted different professional groups provided the supervision. The majority of the participants stated that they did not receive in-service training related to supervision before. All participants indicated that they needed supervision from the first day they started to work. Participants all think that social workers need supervision. The vast majority of participants stated that they didn't find themselves professionally adequate when they first started the profession. Only one participant found himself or herself professionally adequate, but in time he or she realized that he or she was inadequate. The participants expressed that the undergraduate education was inadequate in many situations. This situation is considered to be the greatest indication of the need for supervision of the participants. Some of the participants uttered that they were not able to consult regularly while they were providing professional intervention. Those who had the opportunity of regular consultation stated that they consulted to their colleagues in informal and unsystematic ways as a palliative method. 80% of the participants stated that they had concerns about failing in the cases they encountered when they first started their jobs. In the process of overcoming this concern, they stated that they got support from others for overcoming the concerns and they needed that support from time to time. During the interviews, it was uttered that social workers faced various ethical dilemmas while making decisions during the case owing to the nature of the social work profession, and in such situations, the need to consult to someone more experienced was uttered. The members of profession stated that they tried to overcome these dilemmas in their own ways. They needed the support of others to find the appropriate intervention methods, and there was no supervision mechanism to which they could consult. For these reasons, a professional supervision mechanism should be established by related institutions for the workers in the field. The working conditions of the social workers should be improved. Their professional satisfaction should be achieved by providing their general well-being. The quality of the service they deliver should be increased. The case losses should be prevented. The cases should be approached in the right place and right time in a manner that minimizes the ethical dilemmas. This view is unanimously shared by all members of the profession participating to this study. At the same time, when the related literature is reviewed, there is only one study related to the social work supervision in Turkey. From this point of view, the originality of the present study is clear. In addition, carrying out academic studies on this issue and bringing the need of social work supervision into view will be appropriate approaches. The end of the study. Thank you for listening.